Hey guys, in this part we talk about form elements in HTML. Select element. The select element defines a drop-down list. So I create a select element and create a label before select, choose a car and set the for attribute cars and set ID to the select cars and name cars and create options. The first is Volvo and set the value Volvo, copy paste and paste sub Fiat and Audi, change values and Ctrl R, choose a car. We have Volvo, Saab, Fiat and Audi and change the value. The option elements defines an option that can be selected. By default, the first item, the drop-down list, is selected. To define a pre-selected option, add the selected attribute to the option. So for example, I set the selected attribute to the Fiat and Ctrl R and the Fiat is selected car. Visible values. Use the size attribute to specify the number of the visible values. So for example, set the size and 3, reload, and we have 3 cars visible and we have Audi in the last. Allow multiple selections. Use the multiple attribute to allow the user to select more than one values. So set the multiple to the select and Ctrl R. I hold the Ctrl and select the values. The text area element. The text area element defines a multi-line input field, and create a text area and set the name, message, roses 10 and columns is 30 and Ctrl S and Ctrl R. We have a text area and typing and change the value. The cat was playing in the garden. Ctrl S, Ctrl R, and the default value is the cat was playing in the garden. The rows attribute specifies the visible number of lines in a text area, and the colors attribute specifies the visible width of a text area. And you can also define the size of the text area by using CSS. The button element. The button element defines a clickable button. So create a button element and click me and set down click. For example, this is JavaScript. Alert hello world and see the result. Ctrl R, click and hello world. Always specify the type attribute for the button element. Different browsers may use different default types for the button element. If type we submit the button, will submit the form, and if the button is the button won't submit the form. The field set and legend elements. The field set element is used to group related data in a form, and the legend element defines a caption for the field set element. So I create a form element and create label first name and last name, input, text and text. For save the time, I won't set ID and name for input and label, and cut the tags and create a field set, paste here and create legend and personalia and reload. We have a field set element and the personalia is legend. The data list element. The data list element specifies the list of predefined options for an input element. Users will see a drop-down list of the predefined options as the input data. The list attribute of the input element must refer to the ID attribute of the data list element. So create a input and list is browsers and create a data list and IDs browsers, and I copy the options, paste 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. We have 5 options, and Ctrl S, Ctrl R, and so create a label for input, select browser, and Ctrl R, select browser. This is the input element. So I type, for example, Chrome and select this, and for example Internet Explorer and etc.